Hey y'all, what's up? JamiThatsMe here. Welcome back to the channel. Listen, the press conference is now live, and you know what? I think that I am actually going to go ahead and check it out with you guys here. So let's go ahead and see exactly what they have to say regarding the fiasco that took place at the Riverfront down in Montgomery, Alabama. So let's just check that out.
I want to thank all the members of the City of Montgomery, Montgomery Police Department, Montgomery Fire and Rescue, all of our employees, as well as everyone in our community that has been so helpful regarding the situation that brings us here today. As you all know, we had an unfortunate event to take place over the weekend in downtown Montgomery on our riverfront. It was something that was brought on by reckless individuals who did not really use good judgment and caused an event that certainly was avoidable. That said, the police department reacted very swiftly, very intentionally to address the matter, as did other citizens in the community. And so at this time, we wanted to bring forth some information that we did not have as our investigation continues to report to the public. And so I have with me Chief Darrell Albert, the Chief of Montgomery Police Department, who will update you on the status of this event and how things are going in the investigation at this point. But again, we want to thank all the members of the public, all of our first responders, everyone who's been helpful, witnesses in bringing forth the information that we have. So at this time, I'll turn it over to Chief Albert. Chief.
Good afternoon. Again, Chief Darrell Albert, Montgomery Police Department. Now, I'll kind of lay out the facts as we know them now regarding the incident that took place on Saturday, August 5th, 2023 at 7 p.m. There were several events taking place on our historic riverfront. Positive feedback regarding a school event hosted by Montgomery Public Schools and Hyundai was taking place at the amphitheater and nearby train shed.
Okay.
The Harriet II river cruise ship was fully operational, operating from a designated docking space along the river. The Harriet takes passengers on 2-hour tours up and along the Alabama River throughout the day. On this day, there were 227 passengers aboard that vessel. The incident occurred between the co-captain of the Harriet II vessel and a private boat owner and his family. As the Harriet attempted to dock in its designated space, designated and reserved due to the gangway access as well as the mooring requirements, the private boat was docked in its space, prohibiting safe docking of the Harriet.
Right.
The captain of the Harriet remained away from the dock for nearly 40 to 45 minutes as they attempted to contact the operators of the private boat via PA system. They were only responded to with obscene gestures, curse words, and taunting. The co-captain was then picked up by a separate vessel and brought to the pier in an attempt to have a conversation with the private boat owners and or have those boats moved so that the Harriet could dock. A confrontation ensued between the co-captain and Mr. Pickett, the co-captain, being attacked by several members of the private boat. Several members of the Harriet II came to Mr. Pickett's defense, engaging in what we all have seen since on social media.
Come on, defense. Come on, y'all saying it came to his defense. Come
on.
on.
As the way the calls came in and the Montgomery
Come on,
Police Department's
defense.
response. The original call came in at 7 p.m. as a typical disturbance. The caller, who was the captain of the Harriet, was very calm and not in distress. As additional calls were received, at 7:15 p.m., the call was dispatched to the Montgomery Police Department. 7:18, the first units, 4 Montgomery Police Department officers arrived on scene. with 3 shortly thereafter. 13 individuals were detained and brought to police headquarters for questioning and interviews. Those interviews lasted several hours. At that time, all parties involved were released pending further investigation, but were all given instructions on how to secure warrants on combatants. We have since consulted with and are continuing to work with the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, our state police agency, the Montgomery's DA's office, and the local office of the FBI. This investigation is ongoing and more charges are likely.
Okay.
We encourage the public to continue to send us additional videos or evidence relating to this case.
Absolutely the fuck not.
Those can be sent to Star Center
Y'all
at
can go and search for 'em.
montgomeryal.gov or at our secret witness 334-625-4000. The victims in this case, the co-captain, Mr. Damian Pickett, black male, and a 16-year-old white male juvenile who was struck by the owners and operators of the private boat. The suspects thus far have been identified as Richard Roberts, white male, 48 years old, with 2 outstanding warrants for assault, 3rd degree. Alan Todd, white male, 23 years old,
Yep.
1 warrant for assault, 3rd degree. And Zachary Shipman,
Hold on,
white
wait.
male,
Wait. Let me go back.
white male, 48 years
What did
old.
he say?
Those can be sent to Star Center.
Because
at
did he say that the damn
montgomeryal.gov
boy and the
or at
man
our secret witness
have charges? Did I miss that?
625-4000. The victims in this case, the co-captain, Mr. Damian Pickett, black male, and a 16-year-old white male juvenile who was struck by the owners
He
and
was.
operators
He
of
was.
the private boat.
He was struck by them. He was.
The
I did see that.
suspects
That white boy.
Thus far have been identified as Richard Roberts, white male, 48 years old,
Oh, put their name
with
out
2
there.
outstanding warrants for assault, 3rd degree.
Ooh, 2 outstanding. 2.
Alan Todd, white male, 23 years old,
Alan
1
Todd,
warrant for assault, 3rd degree.
3rd degree. Okay.
And Zachary Shipman, white male, 25 years old, 1 warrant for assault, 3rd degree. We have instructed those individuals to turn themselves into law enforcement.
Only
and as,
are y'all
at this
crazy?
time,
Get their
one
ass.
is secured and in custody. The other 2 are set to turn themselves in within the next hour.
Yeah, turn
We are
y'all ass
also
in.
asking for Mr. Reggie Gray, the black male, 42 years old, who was seen wielding that folding chair, to contact the Montgomery Police Department
Reggie
for
Gray.
further interviews and as part of this investigation.
Don't contact them, Reggie.
As the mayor said a minute ago, this investigation is ongoing and more charges are likely. We want to thank the public and the media.
So y'all didn't
for
arrest them white
supplying
bitches?
Much needed evidence and video surveillance that we've received, and it helped us to determine the facts as they happened. Keep in mind, when the incident took place, when it initially took place, the police department didn't have the luxury of the videos that we all have seen now. The police department was acting on statements and witness statements.
Oh, I see
that
what you're
occurred
saying now.
As we arrived.
Okay, so y'all didn't
Now
have
that
all
we
the
have more
details.
information,
Now y'all got it. Y'all
again,
can
more
arrest more
charges
people.
are pending.
Boom. Thank you. Okay.
I'm available to answer your questions.
I got you
but
now,
that
sir.
sums up where we are at this time, sir.
David Lane, CBS 42 Birmingham. Can you identify who has turned himself in?
Not at this time. We know one individual has turned himself in. He is in the custody of the Selma Police Department. Again, I've worked with the Selma Police Department, and we've been working very closely.
Get all of their
with
asses
Chief
for
Fulford
assaulting
over there,
Damien.
and Chief Fulford contacted me just prior to this press conference and said one individual has turned himself in, and the other 2 are set to turn themselves in a little bit later. Now, the issue is
We need
we
more.
had multiple addresses in Selma and in Orange Beach. So locating these individuals were a little bit challenging, but now we've made contact. We should be and will be bringing those individuals here for justice. Sir.
Chief Randy Scott, APTV. Saturday night, there was some video that shows some individuals being led away in handcuffs. Were those folks detained or were they released?
Detained.
So on the night of the incident, the Montgomery Police Department detained 13 individuals for questioning and
So y'all did not
investigation.
arrest the white
Those
hoes?
individuals were transported to police headquarters, in which at that time we were able to gain much needed information we need and provide them with information on how to secure warrants for the information and for the acts that you saw live on TV.
Chief, did you have any details about that conversation that happened, the fight? What words were exchanged? I mean, obviously you guys probably dug pretty deep into that part of it. What can you tell us about the resistance to move the boat?
Can you identify yourself and?
Ryan, from CNN.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Yes. So the co-captain, again, as the co-captain approached the dock and attempted to peacefully move the boat over, just enough so that Harriet could park, the owners of the boat confronted him in a very hostile manner.
They
There was
sure
words
fucking did.
exchanged,
Talk about
and
it.
then it turned into a fistic encounter that you've all seen.
That's fucking right.
The co-captain was doing his job. He was simply trying to move the boat in just enough to where the cruise ship can park safely in its identified location. However, it quickly escalated into a fistic encounter.
Anything of a racial nature at that point between the people who were at the boat?
So as it relates to racial epithets in conversation and names being called, while the Harriet was still out in the water, there was a lot of, I've seen finger gestures and comments and innuendos made at a distance. Of course, when the co-captain approached, that continued. But again, working with the local FBI, we did examine if there was enough to file hate crimes charges on this case. And again, we rely heavily on the advice from the FBI. We've also looked at what it takes to elevate this to a riot, inciting a riot. We've worked with our local district attorney, and it didn't fit the criteria for that. So the charges that we have pending on the
Let's
South Third,
go.
at this time,
Come on,
are
hate
appropriate
charges.
for what we've seen and the behavior that we've seen on social media.
Come on, hate
Chief Rosina
charges.
Smith with
Come on. Come on, hate charges. Yeah, what's up now? Inciting a riot. Let's go. More charges is pending. They
Yes, So the
coming.
4 warrants that's secured are all members of the pontoon boat. The
Boom.
pontoon boat,
Boom.
and the
4.
attack on the co-captain.
But we
And
finna go count
there
them
was an
hoes,
attack
though.
on a 16-year-old employee of the smaller vessel that took the co-captain from the Harriet to the dock. That 16-year-old was assaulted by one of those members of
He
that
sure
pontoon boat.
fucking
His
was,
mother
and that's the
actually
white
went
boy.
and signed warrants on one of those individuals. That individual was a 16-year-old white male employee.
That's right.
of
That's
the
right.
smaller vessel
Come on, mama,
that was
for
operating
charging,
in the river.
filing assault charges.
Chief Rosina Smith with
That's fucking
WSFA.
right.
Could you please provide us with the names of those suspects again and spell them for us?
Please.
And then, are these misdemeanor charges, or what's the ranking of these charges?
Ooh, that's a good
So
question.
assault third is misdemeanor charges.
I don't like
by
that.
statute. And the names of the individuals that's wanted is Richard Roberts, Roberts. He's a white male, 48 years old. He has 2 warrants pending for assault third. Alan Todd, TODD, 23-year-old white male, has 1 warrant pending. And Zachary Shipman, SHIPMAN, white male, 25 years old, he has 1 warrant pending.
Excellent. Also, we've been hearing that there was also possibly previous incidents with these boaters. To MPD's knowledge, was there any previous incidents with these boaters and the riverboat crew?
We have no knowledge at this time that this was something that was continued from prior incidents. This was a standalone incident, again, that was brought to our attention, and we acted on the information we had. I can tell you we looked at every avenue. There was no stone unturned. We examined this over a period of time, not only that night, but since that night. At this time, based on the way the statutes read and the way the laws are crafted, we were unable to present any inciting a riot or racially biased charges at this time.
Hey, Chief, when you said the smaller vessel, can you clarify that that was not the pontoon boat, that was a different boat?
I'm sorry?
When you said the smaller vessel, can
Okay, so the smaller vessel I mentioned, in which the co-captain was moved from the Harriet to the dock, was moved by a smaller vessel. A smaller vessel operating independently in the river was able to pick up the co-captain and bring him to the dock so that he could work on moving the boats that were impeding the docking of the Harriet.
NBC News and Nightly News. Can you tell us which defendant has turned themselves in at this point?
I do not have the information on the defendant that turned himself in. We do know that one has since been taken into custody by Selma PD, and the other two are en route to Selma now to turn themselves in, and of course the Montgomery Police Department will do that transfer of those suspects to be transported here to the city of Montgomery.
Can you just describe the signage of at the dock there? Is there signage saying "Do not park here"? This is riverboat parking only.
So there was no signage at the time. However, the mooring area for the Harriet is well defined by the dock itself, the area that's cordoned off, as well as the large poles that the boat ties off to. And you know, what we do is the Harriet is parked there all the time. That boat is out there all the time. Individuals that utilize that river and that dock are very familiar with where that larger vessel is required to dock because of the mooring that's set up, as well as the gangplank areas that needs to be utilized to get those passengers on and off the vessel.
Will there now be signs have to be put there now so it be more clear?
Well, I'll say this. There were signs there over a period of time. The signs have either been removed or blown away several times. We are looking at a new strategy to post the signs where they're more permanently attached and affixed.
Just everybody keeps asking about this racially. When people see the first video, it looks like there are, 6 white guys beating up on 1 black guy. Can you understand the question?
Absolutely understand the question and the concern. That's why this department went above and beyond and looked under every stone for answers. And we reached out to not only ourselves internally, but we looked at our state and federal partners to consult with,
assist
see if
with
we're,
that, yeah.
Right in line with
What the fuck is
charges
her
that's
angle
appropriate
with
for the
that
incident
question?
at hand.
A question, Chief, for you and Mr. Mayor, as you all looked at the video and saw this become what it has become, can you just kind of tell us thoughts and emotions that you both felt watching all this over the past few years?
Oh,
first of all,
now
this
you
is
trying to
not
get him to
indicative of who we are as a
incriminate
city.
himself.
The city of
What the
Montgomery
fuck?
is much better than that.
What kind of question
Our
is that?
people are fine people.
Yeah,
We have
deflect how
plenty
you
going
felt.
on in
Don't tell
terms
this
of
man.
events. Look, that
'Cause
was
they gonna
a
try and
positive
use that
event.
against you to
The
get you out your
Montgomery
position.
Public Schools and Hyundai Corporation getting together to do a back-to-school event. We had the boat operating in the river. We had folks downtown enjoying a good day. That's what we're about here in the city of Montgomery. We're about a good time, enjoying ourselves, and being neighborly. So it was quite disturbing that we saw this type of activity happening. And that's why the Montgomery Police Department and all of our partnering agencies got together to make sure we're doing all we can to not only bring this case to a close, but prevent it from happening in the future.
Come on. You better answer that question right in the best manner. Cause he know he was disgusted like a mother.
Well, the co-captain did receive treatment at a local hospital the night of the event.
Sure
That's the
did.
only,
And lawsuits will be coming. I pray he sue the fuck out
knowledge that
y'all.
we have of anybody receiving any injuries or receiving treatment for injuries.
What, if anything, do you feel could have kept this from getting so out of hand?
Well,
Nothing,
you know,
bitch.
we talk about conflict resolution and de-escalation all the time. We talk about that, and it's not only for kids, it's not only for teenagers and juveniles. Everyone must be aware of conflict resolution and de-escalation. There was no need for this event to take the path it did.
Chief, if you watch the video, it looks like there's someone on the launching boat who also got involved in that fight. Are they going to face any charges for the role that they played in that fight?
Well, again, we have many, many more interviews to conduct. We're going to ask everyone that we previously interviewed, as well as the videos that we were starting to receive. As we identify additional folks that we need to talk to, we'll ask them to come in, and we'll try to locate them and do further investigation, see if charges are appropriate. Wait, let's go here, and I'll come back to you. Well, my message is again, like I just said a minute ago, the people of Montgomery, and we're better than that, in that we're a fun city, and we don't want this type of activity to shed a dark eye on what this city is all about. Again, we're going to do all we can, our due diligence, to ensure that this case is solved and put to rest, and that we don't have this type of activity going on in our city again. Sir?
Can you state your name and who you're with? With who?
Okay, so the individual wielding the folding chair has been identified as Mr. Reggie Gray, black male, 42 years old. We're again asking Mr. Reggie Gray to contact local law enforcement. There's more interviews for us to conduct with him, and I'm sure we'll be in contact with him in the very near future. We're asking him to reach out to us within the next 24 hours so we can again sort through the issues with the folding chair and what we all saw on social media as well.
Chief, you mentioned that other charges may be warranted to other people. Does that mean the Good Samaritans came down federal, or is it just in general?
Well, what I'll say to that is anyone involved that has culpability for violating the law is subject to restrictions in terms of the law. So we're going to go where this investigation leads us. No one's off limits. We'll interview as many as we need. Again, on the night of the incident, we interviewed 13 that we were able to detain and transport to police headquarters. But again, I don't think we're near finished. We have a lot more work to do on this, and we'll continue to inform the public and the media on our progress.
Chief, was there any damage to either the Harriet II, the dock itself, or any places around?
No,
That will probably have to be replaced.
there was no damage.
There was no damage reported at this time.
Yeah, you know that. With your silly ass.
Sir? Well, great question regarding resources. The Montgomery Police Department is fully functional and able to handle this investigation. We do thank our local, state, and federal partners for their contribution to this investigation. We'll continue to lean on them as needed. Again, I've worked with and been in constant contact with Chief Fulford over in Selma, and we'll continue to do so wherever it takes us. Wherever this investigation takes us and leads us, we'll be in contact with those individuals able to help us.
Chief, I've seen some people say they thought police should have gotten there sooner. If the first call came in at 7 p.m., why weren't officers there quickly, given that there was that large event already going on?
So the question is about the large event. So the large event that was going on was the amphitheater, again at the train shed, and then a parking lot just outside.
Girl, y'all got more
of the river.
questions
So we
than
had
y'all
officers
had for
already
Carly
assigned to the
Russell.
area. And we talk about the time the call came in versus the time it was dispatched. So the call came in for 7. It wasn't dispatched because of the way the call came in. The riverboat pilot was very calm. He just said it was a disturbance. As more calls came in and the call takers asked more appropriate questions, the call was dispatched at 7:15, and within 3 minutes, the first 4 officers were on scene, and immediately following that, 3 additional officers were on scene, totaling 7. So the response was adequate, was timely, based on the information received from the Communication Division.
Just one final question, Chief. I don't want to keep going back to this, but what would justify a hate crime if this were to, as she was saying, from the initial, it looks like a black man being attacked by 5 white people. What would justify that being?
Teresa, what I'll tell you is that based on the elements of this crime, those elements did not exist.
Do you know a timing of arraignment for these people who are turning themselves in?
No, I don't. Of course, they'll have their day in court. We're going to be transported from Selma over here to Montgomery, and then they'll face the court system here in the city of Montgomery. So I don't have a timeline for you, but again, we're still waiting on 2 additional subjects to turn themselves in. Again, that's supposed to happen within the hour, so we're waiting on those as well, and then we'll work on the transport from where they are to get them back here in our jurisdiction.
And you all will post the mugshot?
Yes, sir. They'll be posted.
Oh,
They'll be made
great,
available
great.
for all.
Okay, mugshots will be available. Yes, bring them out, bring them out.
Once contact is made with law enforcement, they'll be placed under arrest and provided their Miranda warnings as appropriate.
Don't ask no more questions.
This area landed Montgomery in national news for a part of the city that the city was taking great care to try to develop as a tourist destination that makes people feel safe.
Is your mic working? I know I ain't doing that, did I? So I don't hear nothing. Is he talking? Let me see if I can switch it and see if there's another one. Because I don't hear nothing he's saying.
I want to thank all the
To happen within.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought so. He ain't saying nothing. Okay. Let me go to a different one real quick. Let me go to a different one and see if we can capture what it is that he was saying, child. The last few minutes of that. Let's see here. And then let's see what y'all got.
Turn themselves in. Those 3 men.
Okay, so I guess that was pretty much it. Let's see what Eric got
Then
to
they
say.
gotta get somebody to come pick you up. Then you come back to bail out. Then somebody got mentioned. It's not charged as a hate crime, which is one of the things that so many people want to know. And it's not inciting a riot, which they check those avenues. In order for it to be charged as a hate crime, it would have to be racially motivated and provable that it's racially motivated. We saw the video, a bunch of white guys and white women attacking
Press
a black
conference
man.
was over.
To
Okay.
us, oh, absolutely racially motivated. But the law is very specific on what causes something to be a hate crime. They beat him up probably because of the boat, not because of his race. And I did a video previously about the hate crime statute. Is a very specific thing, but also remember that they're talking to the FBI as well, so they're trying their best to get any charges in this case that they possibly can.
To stick,
and that's
yeah.
what there's not enough evidence for these charges, and that's what the chief said. I was very curious about that because if they were calling him the N-word while beating him and kicking him, probably a hate crime. If they weren't,
Well, according
obviously
to
it's not a hate crime.
the former employee,
according
they
to
was
statute,
calling them niggas.
so they did not get warrants on that. So I'm going to try to keep this live. I always say I'm going to keep this live short. Then you all start asking questions, and then my lives go a little bit longer. But that's the rundown of what happened in this case. And those who don't know me, I'm Attorney Eric Gusser with Gusser Law Firm, Alabama State University graduate, MMH, Alpha Phi Alpha, and Kappa Kappa Psi. For those on the yard who are watching me,
what's up?
What's up, Psi? All right, let's get to your questions real quick. If you have a question, type it in. Underlying hate, though, calling names. To reach hate crime statute, the crime has to be based upon the race of the person. It's such a fine line. And what Montgomery PD does not want to do, you don't want to ever overcharge someone, because if you put too many charges on someone that are baseless based upon the evidence, then it makes it harder to even get any conviction of anything, because if they go in front of a jury and plead not guilty for some reason, they try this case and say, look, they're really trying to stick it to me when this should have been a simple assault, then what the jury will do, they might just let them go for everything. I've actually tried that case where they overcharged someone and I used it against them. Okay. And that's perhaps they would not have been the white coat captain. Well, hold on. One of the people that they attacked was a white young man who was 16 years old who worked for the boating company. If you look at the video, you saw a white guy get punched or shoved. I did not know who he was until today. So that person, they actually beat up Mr. Lord, look at my notes. They beat up the co-captain, Mr. Pickett, And they also beat up a 16-year-old juvenile who actually worked for the boat company too, which that may have gone into their decision about it being a hate crime as well. Yeah. What other questions do you have? If you have a question, type it in the chat right now if you're watching me live, and I will try my best to answer your question. Oh, the man, Mr. Gray, the man with the folding chair, the man with the folding chair, they're wanting him to come in. They wanted him to come in. I'll answer that question in the second era. It seems like Aquaman is clear because the chief was clear in that this people on the boat went to defend the co-captain who was being assaulted. I believe 100% that Aquaman is clear. The people who were involved in this have the right to go down and attempt to sign warrants, and the warrant clerk has the right to say yay or nay to those warrants. So that's what will happen. So Aquaman appears clear. I don't know Reggie's Cash App. I don't know his Cash App, but I'm sure that being that they want to talk to him, Reggie needs to go down there with a seasoned criminal defense lawyer to make sure
They're not
that
trying to charge him.
he's protected.
Yep.
And I said in my first video, the chair is the potential problem. I said, and those of you,
Yep.
and those of you who know me, I always shoot straight, even if it's something like, I got to say this. That's why people pay attention to me, because I shoot straight when it comes to these cases. I don't sugarcoat. I don't sugarcoat anything. I tell you the good, bad, and ugly. That's why people listen to me, because I shoot straight. And right, I always speak facts. I try my best. I try my best to shoot straight and everything. Why wasn't the chairman charged? You talking about the chair or the chairman? No. They may be charging the man who hit the person with the chair. They want to talk to him. And in my first live, when I talked about this, I mentioned the chair is a potential problem based upon the video that I saw. The chairman could be in danger of being charged based upon what I saw. And there are ways. I'm sure there are going to be there are going to be GoFundMe's. I don't publish those until I have verified who those things.
Exactly. Yeah.
Those things.
I'm sure they coming. We got to verify.
Fear about now. PTs are blacked out. He has multiple defenses now. Mr. Gray has multiple defenses. I'm looking at my notes. He has multiple defenses because it could be that he saw this big crowd of people attacking him. He just started swinging. I don't know what his defense lawyer would make his defense claim to be, but he would have potential defenses. But like I said in the first one, the use of a chair in a fist fight, it's a line right there, and that's going to be the tough one. And as you know, anyone who watches me know I shoot straight on this kind of stuff. Let's see. What questions do you have for me? Yeah, I Mr. Reggie needs to get a lawyer to go down there with him. He may not make any additional statements, but based upon what he tells the lawyer, then that seasoned lawyer can guide Mr. Reggie Gray on what to say or not to say. The prosecution has a burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. I would imagine that the chair, if charged, would probably be a felony because a chair is considered a weapon.
A deadly weapon.
The other people are out there with fists. I thought that there's a potential chance for a felony of the jumping of the co-captain, but the chair I would think would be a felony based on what I saw. Can they be charged with starting a riot? The police chief mentioned that Chief Daryl Albert mentioned that they checked to see whether or not it could be charged with inciting a riot, and the evidence is not pointed to that yet, but they did check on that. Okay?
So they're still looking into that.
What other questions? I'm going down questions. Why were the two women not charged too? This is an ongoing investigation. They made it very clear this is an ongoing investigation. And as they did request more videos to be sent to the Montgomery Police Department and I should have typed that on one of my slides. They did have requests that people send in videos. for that. Yeah, and be careful with the fake page. And I've seen some things. I've seen some things about the Vassars thing. There's a fake page acting as Vassars, that whatever their food mart is, and making comments. Don't share that stuff. It's fake. I am a truth teller and truth finder and fact finder. And those of you who know me, who follow me, know I shoot straight. That fake Vassar page that's making comments on this stuff is going to get somebody killed. This is already a hotbed situation. People already pissed off. People are already on. We don't need any more fuel. But when whoever is making that page and making those comments, y'all got to stop that and stop sharing it, because that's a fake page that we already mad. They gonna get theirs. I don't expect Vassar's Food Mart to survive this financially, but we have to make sure that we stick to the truth. Thank God for the videos, and stick to the truth, and let's not do anything extra. Okay? Could federal charges be pending? Yes. FBI is involved, so they're obviously looking at the potential of federal charges. Looking at that video, maybe civil rights violation for the man who was attacked. Maybe they could not charge as a hate crime. That's probably why they have the FBI involved. But the FBI has a lot more resources than local PD. They can enhance video. They can enhance sound. They have more hands that can go and look at video. There are people at the FBI who all they do is look at video all day, every day of different incidents and traffic cameras and investigate cases. So they have a lot more resources to find information. And be careful about fake GoFundMe pages, and like I mentioned, the fake Vassars page. We got to keep this stuff.
Yeah, that page is definitely fake. I mean, the address says Nutbush, Tennessee.
Yeah, they prevented every passenger from leaving for 45 minutes, which is a long time to be stuck on a boat and you're just trying to park. And it really showed how nasty those pontoon people were. I thought it was like a 10-minute incident, not pretty much an hour-long incident. So it's very interesting to see what will happen with that. Could there be more charges involved? There is public intoxication. There certainly should be. They look good and drunk. Public intoxication, that's a lower level misdemeanor, so they may leave that alone.
I can't say them folks look drunk. They looked alert as fuck to me, but
as a prosecution,
I'm sure they were drinking. I don't think they were drunk.
Extra stuff. You want to stick to the main charges to really get somebody for what they actually did and what true harm they did.
And it's best to paint them as alert.
And I'm very thankful, like this comment, that nobody was
aware when everything happened.
I'm very thankful for that. Devin, I know there are some people who are setting up some GoFundMes. I don't do GoFundMes. I'm sure. Pay attention to reliable sources, because this is a season of people trying to do shady stuff and setting up fake pages.
Right.
So pay attention to when those people come out. I'm sure they will let you know where to donate. Okay. Did they charge the Karens? According to this, it didn't sound like they charged the women, but keep in mind they interviewed 13 people in this particular crime. So I expect some other charges to come. I don't get into setting up GoFundMes. It gets sticky, and I just don't do that, Christy.
All right, I'm probably gonna let him answer one or two more questions, and then
what other questions do you have? I'm about 4 minutes behind, so I'm going to see what y'all in this chair, man. Y'all look crazy. So did the woman who was hit by the chair, is she pressing charge against Reddy? What are they saying? They said that they want to talk to him again. I anticipate charges coming against him for the chair. I do anticipate that. That's why it's important that he have legal counsel in this case. They did instruct all the people who came down. They give people instructions on signing warrants. You can go down to the magistrate and say somebody beat me up and sign a warrant for them and see if it gets screened. to warrant status, but they gave everyone that information on how to do that.
Okay.
What? Let's stop talking about the chair. Let me answer the actual legal question that you have. So chill on the comments for a second, y'all. I want to get to the legal questions, but I got to go back to work. I've got y'all know I have cases I have to do. So did the workers lose their jobs? I don't know if they lost their jobs.
Yes,
I
they
don't know
did.
that. I don't know of that.
All right. So according to the woman that I uploaded a video on not too long ago, she confirmed and said that they did lose their jobs. So, and she was very passionate about it. So if you haven't seen that video, definitely go over and check out that video. Okay. I was not able to go live at the time for the press conference. So I wanted to go ahead and still pre-record it for the people that were not able to catch it. All right. And we watched it together. So you guys can go ahead and leave your thoughts and comments about the entire situation, everything that you heard in the press conference, the things Eric Guster had to say as well. So you guys go ahead and leave your thoughts and comments about this overall matter. I'm Jamie. That's me, honey. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Jamie. That's me. Like up the video. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.